At these brothers. Man, I'm always quoting a portion of Charles Hannell's book, Masterclass System, where he said, and this quote changed my life, man. Where Hannell said, in order for man to wake up, in order for man to, for his life to make a hard transition into a life of being awakened, he said a man must do three things, right? He said a man must, one, have knowledge of his power, two, have the courage to dare, and three, have the faith to do. And I quote that every once in a while, man. And when I quote that, I'm normally focusing on the second part, the courage to dare, because I've always thought that that's where the majority of people were, having the courage to dare. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this, over the last 72 hours, over the last week, man, I'm understanding that the majority of people are at the first part of life. They're at the not knowing their knowledge of their power. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are at square one. And trust me when I say this, man, I'm not trying to say that a lot of people are mentally behind or nothing, but I'm telling you, the far majority of people are still, as far as coming out of that funk, as far as, I'll just say it like this, as far as not even living life yet, they're still at not having knowledge of their power. And I'm gonna tell you, man, like you may think you're living life now. You may have gotten to the point where, you got the job you wanted. You might be somewhat living a life you want. But until you understand, until you have knowledge of power, bro, you really don't even understand what this world is. You really don't even understand what this world is what you're capable of in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a completely different experience, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this, like, with the world moving so fast right now, technology and Bitcoin, like, the world has changed over the last 5-10 years. If you can look at your life and every single year is the exact same as the was the year before, meaning you might be 1 to 3 degrees different. You might be, you might have been in position where you got a little raise at work, or you got to move up into a bigger apartment over the last 5, 7, 10 years. You really aren't living, man. You're really just scratching the surface. And when I say knowledge of power, I said, what I mean by that is every 3 to 5 years, you should see your life quantum leaping. Every 3 to 5 years, you should see your life doing something majorly different. And if you can look back over the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you're still the same, bro, I'm going to tell you, you're not playing the game of life like you're supposed to, man. Knowledge of your power. I can kind of tell by some responses. I can tell by how a lot of people see the world. I can tell by sometimes when I'm having one-on-one conversations with people and I'm talking about, hey man, you should do this. You should call this play. You should make this move. You know what I'm saying? When there's no movement, I can understand. It's like, bro, you don't understand what you're capable of, man. Knowledge of your power, man. I heard this guy. I've seen this reel. I'm not sure if it was on TikTok. I believe it was Instagram. Well, this guy said something, man, and it really made me look at life different. He said, you have to look at your, and of course I'm jacking it up, man. It's been a while since I've seen it. He said, you have to look at your life as if you're on a movie screen and everybody on the planet is watching your life on the screen. He said, if you're on that screen, what is it that people are telling you to do? In other words, if everybody can see your life, if everybody can see your thoughts, if everybody can see what you've gone through, they can see your path, they can see your desires, they can see your pitfalls, they can see everything in your life like a movie. Like, what is it that people are screaming at the screen for you to be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, they saying, bro, you've been making music. You've been in the garage making music and rapping all this time. Like, when are you going to take it serious and do that thing? Like, you've been talking about going to school and doing this thing for so long. Like, they're screaming, saying, hey, do that thing instead of procrastinating. Some people are saying, hey, man, you've been in that relationship for a decade, and every time y'all get together and break up and get together and break up, your life is in cycles. Like, brother, leave that sister alone. What is it people are screaming at, man? What is it people are screaming at you? Because that's the thing you need to be doing. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not that you don't know that. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but without that knowledge of power, It's so far outside of you. It's so far outside of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way I can explain it. Like, you know exactly what you need to do, but that power to do it is so far removed from you. And I'm not really gonna. If you read A Singular Truth, you really understand why. And I'll just mention it briefly, right? You have to understand, when someone tells you that your God is a million miles up in the clouds, and then someone tells you that your Jesus passed away some 2026 years ago, you have to understand that does more damage to you than you would ever know. That does more damage to you than you would ever know, because you can never connect to oneness. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you think that God is in the clouds, and if you think that Jesus, and I'm talking about people that know what Jesus is, and you think that Jesus died 2026 years ago, you can never connect the dots. You can never close in the Trinity, and that power that you see that's way out there, you can never see it in yourself. Never see it in yourself. And I'm not telling you to change religions, because you can fall up under whatever title you want to fall up under. But you got to understand, until you understand that God is in you and that you are Jesus, you can't connect those dots. You can't even live the way I'm talking about living. You can't even live the way I'm talking about living, man. And I'm talking about just living life with your balls on the table, living the life with no fear, living life with no fear of failure, bro. It's a completely different experience, because I'm gonna tell you this. You may think that God is walking with you, but when you put yourself in position where God has to be there, now you know God is with you. And once you get that knowing, you can move completely different, bro. You're moving completely different. Every year, every 2 years, every 3 to 5 years, you turn around, man, and your old life is almost unrecognizable. And that's the way we're supposed to be living, man. Always expanding. Always going that extra mile, always trying to accomplish something that the generations behind us couldn't accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Swinging for the fence, living life, seeking freedom. You know what I'm saying? Seeking deeper levels of God, man. Like, that's what life is about. And I'm gonna tell you this. This is the thing right here. Once you get that taste of God, once you actually close that Trinity that a lot of people speak of that have no idea what it is. Once you close that Trinity, again, the thing that a lot of people in pulpits speak on but have no idea what it is, once you close that Trinity, you will see this world completely different. You will see this world as I'll say it like this. You will understand that obstacles are only illusions. You know what I'm saying? When you see that wall in front of you, and you say, hey, you know what? I have faith, but I have no idea how. Like having no idea how to get around a circumstance, having no idea how to get through a challenge, having no idea how to stand on 10 through challenging times, hard times, through your bottom. You'll live a completely different life, bro. You'll live a completely different life, man. And just a quick plug, man. I'm starting, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a membership through YouTube and just kind of join the membership, or I'm going to just put this on its own platform. I need to decide that within the next 24 hours. I'm starting. It's called A Singular Society. A singular society where we're talking about nothing but this. Of course, the majority of information will be coming from my book, A Singular Truth. But we're going to be taking, quotes and passages and scriptures and everything else, because this is what you need to know. What I'm talking about now is what you need to know. You can read that Bible from front to back, the Quran from back to front. It doesn't matter. If you don't understand your power, bro, you might as well make funeral arrangements. You might as well make funeral arrangements, bro. Because you're not living. You're not living. You're existing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're scared to play the game, man. It's like you gotta understand this. This is the thing. You have to understand that life is only a few minutes long. It's only a few minutes long. I don't care if you live to be 106. I don't care if you live to be 10 years old, 35 years old. When you pass away, I know in this third dimensional realm, we can look at people that pass away at 35 or 45 and say, oh man, that person had a lot of life to live. You know what I'm saying? Or we look at a person that lived to be 103 and say, oh man, at least they had a long life. To be honest, it's all the same. To be honest, man, once we get to this plane, it's really only like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The difference between you living to be, 15 years old and living to be 97 years old, it's only a difference between like 5 minutes and 8 minutes. It's only a glimpse. So the thing is, if life is only a glimpse, why would you just want to sit around and not even play the game? You know what I'm saying? If life is only 5 minutes, I'll say this. If God said, hey, you know what? You're in this heavenly realm with me, but I'm going to put you on the playground of life. You got 5 minutes. Why in the world are you touching down on planet Earth and standing still watching everybody else play during that 5 minutes? You need to be going hard. You should be looking back at 2023, 2024 and say, dang it, man, I was back there then. I was fearing that then. I'm here now. You should be able to look back at 2020 and not even recognize it. You should be able to look back at 2015 and not even think that was you. And if your life isn't moving like that, man, you aren't living, bro. You have to start living like you got 5 minutes to play the game, man. I remember this, man. This is what it makes me think about. Back when I was a youngster. I'm talking about back when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. My pop's best friend was, if y'all heard, I'm sure y'all know Larry Sanders, man, Pro Bowler, ex-NFL great, possible Hall of Famer. My dad and Larry's dad were pretty much best friends, man. So we spent a lot of time, back in the 80s, it was a different way of life now. Our family spent time at their house. Their family spent time at our house. It was just a different way of living. And I can remember, man, me and my partner back then, my best friend back then, his name was Alton, which was Larry's little cousin. That was my best dog. We would go over there, man, and Larry had 4 brothers, and all of them were like beasts in football. All them brothers were playing D1 football, and going to the league and all kind of stuff. And they just loved the game. Long story short, when me and my partner Alton would go over their house, they had back in the days, you had Atari, you had ColecoVision, they had an Intellivision. It's a video system game, man, and all they played was, it wasn't called Madden back then, it was just called football. All they played was football, right? And I remember, man, me and Alton would be over there, chilling, and they would be on that game, bro, for hours. And they wouldn't let us touch it. We were kind of sitting there like, if you ever got like a little puppy and you sitting there eating food and that puppy just sitting there waiting on you to give him some or waiting on you to drop a bone or something. That's how me and Alton was sitting there looking at that game. Just saying, hey, you know what? We just want to play the game. We could be there for hours and couldn't play. Every once in a while, man, Larry and his brothers, they would go outside and climb trees for 5 minutes or go outside and race and compete in something. And when they were going for that 5 minutes, all me and Alton did was get on that game, brother, and go hard. For that 5 to 7 to 15 minutes we had to play the game, bro, we were Hail Marys. We were doing everything. Like we were living life. That's how you have to be living life, bro. You have to understand, we only here for 5 minutes. Life is only 5-10 minutes long, man. And if you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, watching everybody be great, I promise you, once we all get to the afterlife and we're sitting around drinking our mimosas, talking noise, when everybody's telling their stories about what they did, yeah, man, I quit this job, man, and I started my own thing. I started this trucking company, man. Hey, man, I quit my job and I started content creating. Oh, man, I saw this girl I had a crush on since 3rd grade. I saw her as an adult, man, and I shot my shot. When everybody's sitting around a circle, man, talking about what life was like and all the great things we did, what are you gonna be saying? What are you gonna be saying? You gonna say, yeah, man, when I was 19 years old, man, I got this job, man, and I was vacuuming out toilet bowls, and I died at 99 years old, still vacuuming out toilet bowls. I didn't see no part of this globe. I stayed in my city for 99 years. I stayed at this one job for 99 years. I didn't live life. I didn't play the game because I was scared. And the thing is, the reason you're scared is simply because you don't have that knowledge of power. It's that knowledge of power, man. So I can sit there and talk about the courage to dare and the faith to do, man. But brother, you gotta understand who you are and what you can do before we even talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So look for a singular society, man. I might add it to this email. I might add it to this YouTube video, or it might be in the next, or email out, or look at my community. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you want to walk this path of life like you're supposed to be walking it, if you want to walk this path of life like you really want to be walking it, you need to understand the power of singularity. You need to understand the power of one truth and no other option is a thing. Because once you start doing that, brother, life will start happening, man.